Okay, but listen, my mom's funeral had like 1,000 people. Okay, I exaggerate, but seriously, there were so many people. And I was just sitting there thinking, when did she meet all these people? How does she know so many people? All I do with my free time is play with my dog, and now I'm discovering she was basically Mother Teresa. Okay, bad example. Mother Teresa was an awful person. But you get what I mean. Just piles and piles and piles of people. Do people send out invitations for funerals? I've always wondered about that. Or do you just hear about it through the grapevine? Or ask each other if you're going to? Is it word of mouth?
Hey, OMENES. Hey, you're listening to the podcast. Friend? Omenage podcast. What's up, nerds? It's me, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Laureezy F baby, and the F is for
Fergalicious definition, make them boys go loco.
And I am back with another episode of me talking to myself in a room with no audience. Welcome! Speaking of word of mouth, it's time to start defunding podcasts. Yes, even mine. Now what? Your boos don't affect me. I've heard what you cheer for. Alright, let's talk about it. What even is a podcast? If you're not sure, just picture this. It's basically people talking. That's it. It's like radio, but unpaid, unregulated, and honestly, unnecessary a lot of the time. And thanks to the internet, literally anyone can start one. Got a mic? Congrats, you're a podcaster. Got a phone? Boom, you're now a podcaster with bad audio. It's that simple. My first and main complaint with podcasts right now is the way that they are video-based. I'm going to be the asshole and look up the Oxford definition of a podcast. It is a digital audio file made available on the internet for listening or downloading to a computer or mobile device, typically available as a series. And in layman's terms, it's a series of recorded conversations, stories, or discussions on different topics. Kind of like a playlist of talk shows, that you can stream or download on your phone. Now, tell me, why is video a component of podcasts now? What in the entire podcasts used to be cool is a wrong word, but you get what I'm saying. You'd listen to one on your way to work and think, wow, I'm learning so much about ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs while sitting in traffic, or a niche forgotten in history that makes you want to become a historian overnight. It felt intentional, like people actually had something to say. But then the floodgates opened. Podcasts went mainstream, and now everyone with 2 brain cells and a hot take thinks they are the next, intellectual leader in heavy quotes. Let's be honest, how many podcasts are just people hanging around recording conversations that they'd be having anyway? Do we need 3 to 4 hour deep dives on why your bad relationship take hits different from the others? We don't. It's like we're in a group chat with no exit button.
Help me! Help!
And can we talk about how they get popular? It's not about the content, really. It's all about, anything. First, you need a catchy name that has nothing to do with anything. And you need, crazy guests who will leave you an insane soundbite. But you know what the real trick is? It's going viral on TikTok. It's that viral TikTok moment. You know the one. It's a clip of someone saying something super obvious or super offensive. There's no in between. And suddenly, it's all over your For You page with comments like, this changed my life, or it's an all-out war in the comments. Are we all just bored? Okay, but seriously, why do so many men have podcasts? Like, what is going on? So every time I open social media or whatever, there's another guy talking about how you can level up and be an alpha male by buying crypto, as if these two things are connected. You know, these dudes act like they're the secret gatekeepers to success and are offering strategies on how to get rich, which they're not, by the way, or how to dominate your life or something. And it's always somehow tied back to crypto. It's like, dude, we're not buying your fake coin called Brocoin or whatever. And let's be real, there's a podcast for every scammy self-help guy you can think of on the internet. Buy this NFT and your life will change, they say. Meanwhile, it's just another pyramid scheme where the only people winning are the ones who are scamming you. And listen, you're a good person, so that's not going to be you. But real talk, this is a global crisis. Why? Because for every podcast a man starts, the planet's temperature rises by 0.5 degrees. Do not quote me on that, but I swear the numbers seem really close. It's like every dude who talks about hustle culture and making millions in 60 days is basically just throwing another log on the burning earth. And guess what? These dudes think they're saving the world by giving out whatever business advice they have imagined in their heads, but they're not. They're contributing to global warming. How, you ask? Well, more men behind microphones equals more CO2 emissions from all those unnecessary electricity-heavy equipment setups and the laptop batteries, that are being drained from hours of quote-unquote enlightening content. It's science. I swear. Look it up.
Yes, science!
Attention! This is an emergency broadcast. A dangerous epidemic is sweeping the internet and you are not immune. Reports confirm a rapid rise in brain rot, a condition caused by exposure to mind-numbing podcasts. It starts innocently. You check out a new show, thinking it'll be insightful. 1 hour later, you're trapped, listening to two people debate pineapple on pizza like it's groundbreaking philosophy. This is your warning. Step away from the headphones. Step away from the screen. Hit pause. Put down the phone. If your podcast isn't making you think or laugh, turn it off now. Brought to you by the Ominous Podcast, saving your brain from the worst of the internet, one ridiculous episode at a time. Stay safe and don't say we didn't warn you.
You think it's just one podcast? Nah, man, this is a pandemic. I mean, how do we go from just one guy talking to his microphone to 12 podcasts talking about nothing but high-protein smoothies, golf courses, and how crypto is your only true friend? The earth is crying, people. Every time a man launches a new podcast, the glaciers get a little smaller. You ever thought about that? And I'm not even going to be misandrous about this the way I want to be. There are so many girlies who should not be on the microphone either. It's like the blind leading the stupid. What does that mean? Do I sound elitist? Ugh, whatever. Creativity on the internet isn't what it used to be. I know. I sound like a boomer telling you about back in my day. Like I'm sitting on a rocking chair telling you about how things used to be. But hear me out. Creativity used to feel, creative. It wasn't just reposting memes or throwing out random takes for clout. It felt like people were actually trying to make something cool. Now, the internet feels like one big recycled meme factory where everyone's just copying each other and pretending that they have invented something new. Back in the day, again, I sound old, right? People were on Tumblr putting out poetry and GIFs or hacking together those weird glitchy videos that you would make on Windows Movie Maker. It was raw, unfiltered, and honestly fun. It was about making your thing and hoping somebody out there would just get it. Now though, we're slaves to the algorithm. There's a blueprint for success. Do a viral dance, drop a hot take, maybe piss off some people and bam, you're famous. But here's the problem with that. It's hollow. We've become obsessed with numbers and likes that we've forgotten what it means to just make something because you like it and you want to make it. It's honestly kind of sad. Look, I get it. Everybody's hustling in this content game, but sometimes it feels like we're all just punching the same keys over and over again. And at the end of the day, the song is not even that catchy. I have no hopeful thought or resolution for this, honestly. We're just all slaves to capitalism and we need to eat the rich and destroy money because money is made up. Anyway, what are we talking about? They're pieces of cake. And that's it for this episode of the Omenads podcast with your girl, Laureezy F. Baby. And the F is for...
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, you're listening to the podcast. Friends? Omenads podcast. Intrusive thoughts are crazy because why do I want to stick my hand in the boiling oil whenever I'm frying chips?